Hello and welcome to a new episode of True Audio Files. Today, as you've probably seen from the description, I'm going to be doing a sound quality shootout of Isaac Hayes' Hot Buttered Soul. But before I get started with that, I just wanted to kind of talk about some other stuff. The big thing is a lot of big releases that are coming my way, and maybe your way too if you're watching here and have these same things coming. But so a couple of things that are coming in the mail for me and maybe for you as well. Getting I believe the last one step for Eagles, which is the long run. Expect that to be coming to me sometime in the coming week here. What I am getting is the 75th anniversary of Atlantic Analog Productions releases from this month. There are 3 that are coming out. I'm getting 2 of them, but basically there's John Coltrane, there's Giant Steps, and My Favorite Things. I am only getting the Giant Steps one because I already have a 45 RPM that was cut by Chris Bellman and Bernie Grunman already. Sounds phenomenal, and I actually prefer the mono mix anyways. But anyways, getting that, I should say. And I'm also getting the Stone Temple Pilots as well. And early word on the street is that they all sound spectacular, which I would expect them to. So those are all 45 RPM, and they should be available right now if you wanted to order them as well. So those are the big ones that are coming out for any audiophile releases anyways. So Casey Musgrave's new album's coming out next week as well. And then these are all the things that came out this week for releases. We've got the new Norah Jones, the new Judas Priest, and then the new, I think, $1 trillion edition or something like that of $1 Billion Babies. It's a 3-record set with a live concert from Houston and some outtakes, I believe, and some single edits and things like that on there as well, cut by Chris Bellman. So very excited about that also. But the other big one from this week that came out or arrived this week anyways is the new Isaac Hayes Craft Small Batch One Step Hot Buttered Soul. So I got number my eyesight sucks. 1713. I can't see much from within about 2 feet of my face. Anything beyond 2 feet, I can see super well, but anything beyond closer than that, it's not good. Anyway, number 1713, the One Step. I really like these. I love the packaging of them. I love the little pull string on them. The one thing I was kind of disappointed about is where they placed the insert on these, because it was placed behind the record where the pull string was, and the pull string ripped my inner liner. But anyway, still readable, still something maybe I'll talk to them about trying to get a new one, but I was a little disappointed. They should have placed it in front of the record instead of behind it. So, but good quality jacket, obviously good quality vinyl as well. So, was looking forward to this non-jazz title, which I think is the first non-jazz title for these small batch. They don't seem to be selling as well as they once were. I'm sure a lot of people got a sour taste in their mouth from the first few that were released, but everyone that I've been able to purchase has sounded really good, and if you like any of the albums that are available in these, you should definitely pick them up. So I don't really have a whole lot of different options for this record. Matter of fact, to my going through all my collection, I really could only find one option that I have, and it is a reissue from a few years ago. It is a Newbury Comics exclusive gold colored version and it has a Stax label instead of, I think it's Enterprise label, I believe it is on this one, on the craft version. But translucent yellow or gold, I guess they call it. I guess it's to look like melted butter, I guess, right? So anyway, so that's really the only one I have to compare, and so I really wish I had an early pressing. I don't think they really come up all that often out there in the wild, or at least not in great condition. So I'm sure that if it had come up, I would have purchased one. But I don't recall really seeing them come up too often. So anyways, so I really only have that unit, or to say that pressing, and then this Craft one step small batch. So probably could see where this is going already. But anyways, I generally, as a rule of thumb, just so you know how I kind of do things, I listen to the whole album, the new release, the reissue, all the way through, kind of get my take on it and figure out which song I think is probably going to be the best song for, or songs to do an A-B comparison with. And so I can do a quick A-B comparison and get a good back and forth on the single track or two, and get a good take on what I think are going to be the better versions of the album. So in this particular case, I did Walk On By, which is the first track. And one thing that I did kind of notice on this, it's clear that it's, I'm pretty sure it's from like early 70s, where they were still pushing the envelope and really trying to experiment with stereo, because there's a lot of panning back and forth, and a lot of cool separation actually of the different instruments and things on that nature. And while you still had like the drums, I think the bass and the vocals most of the time centered. But it's pretty cool. One other thing that I did notice on this, which I guess I've really never spent the time and really critically listened to this, but it is something that I kind of noticed right away on the Craft small batch, is that they kind of do a mini fade in, fade out thing. It doesn't fade all the way out; it fades down some and then comes back up on Walk On By, kind of near the end. Kind of for emphasis, I'm guessing. So it was kind of a cool effect, but it kind of took me aback a little bit. So overall, from a sound quality perspective, I mean, I thought it sounded great. The one thing that really jumped out to me when I first put it on was, the depth of the sound stage, the great imaging, and just the 3D sound to the one step, that it was just sounded just spectacular for that. And then, like I said, that it didn't seem like it was all that compressed because of the, kind of the fade in, fade out characteristics in Walk On By. I thought was kind of interesting. So overall, though, I'm very pleased with it. It's very quiet as usual, and just a great sounding pressing and great quality mastering done by I believe it's Bernie Grundman on this. So then I went and listened to the reissue. And the reissue definitely sounded like it was more compressed, dynamically compressed, that is. The one thing that stood out to me, is it definitely had less of a 3D sound quality to it. There was definitely a sound stage, but it wasn't quite as deep, kind of less 3D, not as enveloping as the one step. You basically, it sounded like you had several levels of soundstage, but they were kind of flat sounding, for lack of a better way to describe it, where the Craft definitely kind of had more of a 3D effect to it, to the sound. So anyway, it also seemed to have the bass and treble were pretty similar, but the mid-range was definitely different. I want to say that the Craft definitely had a little bit more warmth to it in the lower mid-range, and the reissue kind of had a little bit more of the upper mid-range going to it, so it kind of felt a little harsher in sound, if I could say that. It wasn't dramatic, though, in terms of, I mean, it definitely didn't sound harsh, but if you were to do an A-B comparison between the two, it definitely came across as sounding maybe a little harsher, maybe not quite as natural sounding, I think, as the one step was. Still sounded really good. It was, for an inexpensive reissue, which this was, I thought it actually sounded pretty good. And I'm guessing this is still available as a standard, like a black vinyl reissue somewhere. So overall, though, it definitely sounded good, but it definitely, if you like that more 3D soundstage, more of a natural, like more warmth, I should say, to the sound, I think you'll definitely like the one step quite a bit better. And the vinyl was a little bit quieter, but I was actually pretty impressed with the quality of the vinyl on this. And who knows what you'll get on the black vinyl version out there. But overall, the Craft one step is definitely in my opinion, the clear winner. It's definitely obvious. I would say the only thing that's a little bit jarring, but if you know it's coming and you know it's there, it's not too big of a deal, is kind of that sort of fade in, fade out at the near the end of Walk On By. So, but some really cool panning effects, and they are more obvious on the one step as well. When I think there's some panning of some instruments and back and forth, and I think they kind of pan the vocal a couple times as well, and those are definitely again more obvious and clearer as to what's going on with them on the one step. Although, like I said, this other reissue does a pretty good job of being able to detail that also. So that is my take on it. So I'd be curious to see if any of you out there have maybe an earlier first pressing, or maybe another pressing that's considered a really good quality pressing of it. And if you have this new small batch one step, and if you've been able to do a comparison, I'd love to hear your take and see what you think. I read all your comments. Usually I like all of them, unless I don't like them, but it's pretty rare that I don't like the comments. I'll comment when I feel that I have something to add on your comments, but so please comment below, or I should say comment in the comment section, and I'd love to hear from you and hear your take on this. And that is everything. So I want to thank you all for subscribing, for those of you that do subscribe, and if you don't, please do so. I love seeing new subscribers. Hit that like button if you liked the video, and then again, like I said, make some comments below, and hit that alert bell if you want to know when my new videos come out. So that's everything I have for this episode. Thank you very much, and I look forward to talking to you guys again. Thanks a lot.